Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. This is Sports Shorts Radio. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Tommy Krysan, and Hunter McCann.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Radio on the last Saturday in the month of July. It's a special Saturday for a lot of reasons and so much sports stuff going on. My name's Tommy Krysan. Glad to be here. Glad to have you there. We got Hunter McCann here. Hunter, how are you this morning?
Doing well, Tommy. It's another beautiful Saturday, and we're one Saturday closer to college football. You can feel it buzzing around town.
And one of the special things this Saturday is we are live and in color from the Furlough Agency just off Burnside in Gonzales. Tracy Furlough, her insurance agency. It's their 5-year anniversary customer appreciation party. They are celebrating 5 amazing years with trust and support in this community. They're so grateful for everybody involved. We've got a ton of people who have donated prizes. We're going to have food, drink. You need to come on out. They're going to be here till 2 o'clock having fun. We'll be on the air until 12. We're right here in the office, as you can see. Customer appreciation party for the 5-year anniversary of Tracy Furlough's agency, the Furlough Agency. Food, they got giveaways, door prizes. We'll talk to Tracy in just a little bit and find out everything that's going on today. So we certainly are very appreciative of the Furlough Agency, Auto, Home, Life, you name it, they will take care of you. I've come to know Tracy in the last year, and she's a hard worker who does the right thing for everybody involved. Hunter, SEC Media Days for this week. We're going to get into that. Lane Kiffin stole the show. 16 coaches.
Shocker.
He stole the show. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about everybody knows where LSU was picked. Everybody knows the 9 players that were on the first, second, or third team for all SEC as picked by the media, and we'll get into some of that. We'll also talk some New Orleans Saints today. We'll have Joel Davis about 10:30. He'll talk about the Saints. They actually report on Tuesday the 28th, and then they will start practice Wednesday the 29th. Major League Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony up in Cooperstown tomorrow. 3 guys going in, all 3 who I think deserve to be in. We'll talk about that. By the way, the MLB trade deadline's coming up on Monday, August the 3rd. So we got a lot of stuff. The Rougarou, the Baton Rouge Rougarou, owned by Mr. Ronnie Rance, who will be joining us in the second hour. He's in Lake Charles with the Gumbo Gators. The Rougarou are not going to be in the playoffs. They are the defending league champs. They won the title last year. They last night were officially eliminated from the playoff situation.
Mathematically, yeah.
Yeah, and they got the game tonight and tomorrow on the road against Brazos Valley. Lake Charles is hosting Abilene at Joe Miller Ballpark in Lake Charles tonight and tomorrow night. They have a real good shot to be in the playoffs. Certainly, if they win both of their games, they're in. And we'll talk to Ronnie about all that in hour number 2. So that's what's happening in the Texas Collegiate League. And we do appreciate everybody this morning in Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and then ESPN Southwest Louisiana covering the Lafayette and Lake Charles markets. Again, we're at the Furlough Agency. We're going to talk about River of Life capsules today. I took my 2 capsules this morning. We'll have Patrick Scallon on at about 11:30. We'll talk about Marchand's Interior and Hardware, your premier flooring dealer, located about 3 blocks from here. We'll talk about Marchand's, Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, where they got steak night tonight, the Island Golf Course in Plaquemine, and
of course, can't go on a Saturday without talking about Gage, of course, protecting your home and business with a Cummins standby generator.
So, Hunter, how has your week been?
It's been eventful, man.
Busy week,
It's been a busy week. We avoided the worst of Tropical Storm Bertha, and then, of course, over in luckily in Tampa, they also did the same thing where SC Media Days were, and all 16 teams with their head coaches and players were packed in down there in Tampa Bay, and the media voted this week, of course, as they always do. I picked the Georgia Bulldogs to take home the SEC championship. It surprised me a little bit, too. I did expect to see back-to-back years of Texas being picked, but they came in at a close second on the list of teams picked to win the SEC championship. Personally, if I had to get a gun in my head right now and had to pick, I would also probably think it'd be the Texas Longhorns. But we will wait and see what Manning does in his second year at the helm, second year under center, I should say, with Steve Sarkisian at the helm. because there's a lot of expectations for the Longhorns going into this season.
LSU was picked 5th. I thought they'd be picked 4th. That's just my 2 cents worth. And this is voted by there's like 64 something people who vote on this. So, not every media member votes, but do. And I was surprised that Georgia was 1. I thought Texas would be, like you said, Hunter. And I'm surprised that Ole Miss is up there where they're at.
Well,
but then when you think about Chambliss and Lacey, and I was impressed with Pete Golden this week, and I know his dad real well for many, many years, but I was a little surprised that LSU was picked 5th. I thought they'd be 4th, but you know what? This is just an opinion, and
and usually it's the wrong opinion.
Well, in 34 years, the media's only got the SEC champion correct 10 times. Okay, so that's and I'm not bashing our media colleagues, because anybody in the predicting business or the gambling business with your best bets at WBRC or my cash out bets that I do, you're always taking a chance, and you're going to be wrong. You're going to be wrong.
It's the name of the game.
No matter what you, just like baseball players strike out, it's going to happen. So we'll see how that goes. But your reaction, I got up Thursday morning, made sure I watched Lane Kiffin. I'm going to give my reaction, then I'll ask you for yours. I was impressed, and what I'm about to say is meant in a good way, not to be demeaning. I think Lane Kiffin showed the world that he grew up compared to his days at Tennessee, his days at Florida Atlantic, even when he first got to Ole Miss. But he grew up, and not just the social media thing when his son issued him the challenge. I just think the things he said about his life is better, and he's a better coach, and he's a better dad. I think, that was all about, that wasn't, wide banana 2 split pass play. I think he was sincere. I think he was genuine. And again, this is not meant in a demeaning way, but I think he's grown up a lot. He understands the situation at LSU.
I think saying mature is probably the right word. I actually take it more so that he doesn't have to have the same pomp and show that at Ole Miss. He had to sell the show at Ole Miss a lot, with the gimmicks on the sideline and connecting with the younger generation and doing the social media and being prevalent at, and I'm not bashing Ole Miss when I say this, but a school that is at a lower tier than LSU. They want to be at this higher tier. They are going to have to earn it. They don't just get the pass after one good season. They're in a lower tier compared to a lot of other teams in the SEC, and LSU is included in that list. And from that means that Lane had to sell the show at Ole Miss. Come to the SIP. Come play here. Come do this. Come do the dunking on the sidelines and the chains and everything like that. And that doesn't mean he's not going to bring that pomp and show, at least in some capacity, to LSU. But it doesn't have to be flaunted or put out for show so much. On his end, he can come into this as a mature role and now really run the ship and run the brand, right, of LSU. He doesn't have to have all the gimmicks to go along with it. And I think that was on display Thursday, him coming to the podium and being very forefront with how grown everything has been and how his transition has been from Ole Miss, and apologizing for those past mistakes that he said in the Vanity Fair article and everything, like addressing all those things. But also, and he was filibustering up there. I mean, he went the longest time anybody's ever gone up there at the podium. He went over 16 minutes and really limited the questions from the media. I thought it was genius.
Well, it was genius, but the questions he didn't want to get, he addressed before.
Exactly.
The Vanity Fair comments, and he said, I apologized, and I made a mistake. Okay, I like a guy to admit he makes a mistake.
Sure.
I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it. I cashed out on Sam Burns, but who am I? But so I like that. And then he addressed the leaving of Ole Miss, and that he was sorry it was so ugly. And I think it's cool that Skip Golden is now in his house living Pete Golden, Skip's his dad.
Yeah, Skip, yep.
Pete Golden is living in his house, and ladies checking out the ring camera.
Yeah, that was funny story.
That was funny stuff, okay? So Lane Kiffin, I mean, he won the SEC Media Days. What do you get for that? Nothing. It means nothing. What really means something September 5 when Clemson rolls in.
So, and I think I have a different opinion than a lot of people of SEC Media Days. And
I want to hear it.
I truly don't care. And the reason I said that, I actually think it's kind of outdated for how much worth it used to be. I think 20, 25 years ago, it's real worth because you haven't really heard from these coaches or players in 6-7 months. You didn't have these. You didn't have these cell phones right in your hand.
Yeah.
I hear from these coaches, and I see the news, and I see the transfers every moment, every day. So really, I personally didn't really gain much value in terms of insight into the season, because talk is cheap, man. Productivity is what matters when it comes September 5th. And for the start of league schedule for everybody, I don't care how well you think you're going to do. I want to see how we're going to do. No coach is going to get up there and go, guys, we stink and we're going to stink this year. Not one coach said that, and not one coach in history of the SEC is going to say that at any time of these points. The only thing the SEC Media Days really does for me is it really just makes you start having the itch. Your football season really feels like it's getting underway when SEC Media Days gets around here. You're only 5 weeks away from the start of action. You're finally getting to the end of July because come August, it's the first month of college football, and it will be all the way through January that you'll have college football on the TV. So for me, it's more of a momentous occasion for that reason. But I didn't really feel like, from any perspective, that I really learned too much about or things that stood out. It was great to hear how confident Pete Golding is, but of course he should be confident. I think the hardest position that you can be in college football is following up a place of success, and you're coming off the best season of college football for the Ole Miss Rebels, and now you have a brand new almost everything. You keep a lot of the stars, but prove it to me. Can the stars shine when they don't have Lane Kiffin as the head coach and they don't have Charlie Weiss creating magic on the sideline offensively? I don't know. I don't know if Chambliss's talent was unlocked because of actually his skill or because of the guys around him, and they're going to have to prove that this year. So once again, talk is cheap. Productivity is everything.
Yeah, and the social media and the internet eliminated the recruiting day bash.
Yes.
Okay, it really did. Social media and the internet's going to eliminate media days. It's all going to be done on. So I mean, like you mentioned, anything I want to know about Shane Beamer and South Carolina football, I can find out.
Mm-hmm.
2
And
minutes
I have
here on the
found
phone.
out.
Yeah,
all
year. And then as the season goes along, when LSU gets ready to play Ole Miss, okay, that's a whole other story. You can look up everything you need to know about Clemson before the opener, Louisiana Tech Bulldogs, who roll in here on September 12th. There's no secrets anymore. You don't need that media day to learn a few things, because they used to go to media day and basically read their depth chart out. They don't do that anymore because you don't have to do that. Everybody already knows it if you want to know it. So that's kind of the animal that it has become.
The good thing, perspective-wise, as a media member, I love hearing personally from the other coaches and being at the events. I wasn't there this week in Tampa, but being able to hear from the coaches that you may not be able to see that season is a cool thing, because they may not line up on the schedule, or if you do see them, it's going to be in the postseason, and you can't predict that. So that's a cool aspect of it. But I think from a fan perspective and from sitting on the outside of it and not being in Tampa this week, it's just more of the pomp and show to say, hey, we're the best conference in the league. The SEC's here, and we're gonna go back to winning national championships, because it's been a little bit of a drought for SEC bringing home the title.
Yeah, so anyway, we got some people rolling in here. Randy Crawford of Crawford Photography is here, and his better half, Aaron. And I've seen Carlin DeVere rolled in here from Carlin DeVere Construction. And we are at the Furlow Agency. In fact, in a few minutes, we're going to talk to Tracy Furlow. She's going to join us on the set. So we got a lot going on here. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. Appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. Lots of people catching the stream on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube. We're everywhere. We're blowing it up here on this Saturday. Hunter, we're going to take a break. You want to tell us about Gage before we go to the break?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk a little bit about Gage all the time here on the show, but especially in this past week where I mentioned Tropical Storm Bertha, it's so important to have your home and business protected, and the best way to do that is by getting a Cummins standby generator from Gage. Gage has been in business since 1980, excuse me, and they're the number one Cummins dealer in the Gulf South. So protect your home and business during this hurricane season. We hope to not have any major hurricanes, but even small tropical storms or even a slight breeze down here in Louisiana can knock your power out. Keep the power on with a Cummins standby generator from Gage. You can contact them at 753-4243. That's 225-753-4243. Or visit them online at gage.cloud.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back at the Furlow Agency in Gonzales, Ascension Parish.
What a beautiful setup.
We got a beautiful, Tracy's been great hosting us, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk to her when we come back from break. Appreciate everybody tuning in on this Saturday morning. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, all the folks on YouTube, Facebook, and X. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Chrysan. We are back after this pause. Stay with us.
Want to play baseball or
Welcome back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We're having a fun time today, last Saturday in the month of July, and it's a special Saturday for a lot of reasons. So many things going on in the sports world, but the main reason we're here today, the Furlough Agency 5-year anniversary of being in business, customer appreciation party. Tracy Furlough, this is you. The Furlough Agency, the signs on the wall. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
Here's the big question. Did you get any sleep last night
No.
with the big event today?
No.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
No sleep last night. None.
But no, so Tracy, 5 years you've been in business now, auto, home, life, taking care of people. And one thing you've mentioned to me, your appreciation of the support in this community, Gonzales, Ascension Parish, and even beyond. I mean, we got folks in Lafayette,
Yes.
Lake Charles, and Baton Rouge listening to the program. You're very appreciative, and that's what made you do this customer appreciation party.
Yes, we want to show our appreciation back to our clients. We would not be here if it wasn't for them. We love our community. We love the town that we live in. And we just want to make sure that our customers know that they are appreciated.
You've been in the insurance business for a long time, much
Yes.
longer than 5 years. And we don't get into all that right now. But 5 years ago, you said, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start an insurance agency. I want to help the people in our community. And you did it. Did you ever think 5 years ago that it would be where it is today?
No, because the first month we opened, July of 2001, Hurricane Ida came the month after. So what happened? Companies pulled out of the state. Insurance rates went sky high. We had a very, very rough market the first few years that I opened, but we made it through it, and here we are today.
Tracy, a lot of people don't understand insurance, and that's your job, is to explain it to them. If somebody walks in here with their auto policy, their homeowner's policy, renter's policy, wherever it is, you're going to sit down with them and make sure they have the coverages that they need that best fits them and their family.
Correct. Sometimes, clients think that they have good coverage and they have very minimum coverage. We're going to talk to them about that. We're going to talk about the coverages. We're going to talk about exactly what those coverages are and what they mean. We're going to quote what we believe they may need, and we're going to educate them so that they can make the decision that's best for them.
Now, one thing I heard you mention at the Business Network of Ascension, the greatest sales team in Ascension Parish, I heard you mention that if someone, and it has happened, somebody comes to you to take a look at their insurance policy, if they're in perfect shape, you're going to tell them that. You're not going to try to upsell them or
Nope.
say, hey, you
Nope.
got to go this way. I remember you saying that at the BNA meeting.
We will look at the policy. If that is what they need and that is what they have, and we cannot beat that price, then we let them know. You are in a great place. You have a great price. We would love to have your business here, but we understand, but you are right where you need to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they're in the right spot, then you'll
right.
tell them that, and you
Sure.
want them to be there. And then that gives
Absolutely.
them peace of mind that they and their family is in a good spot if, unfortunately, something happens that you don't
That's
want
right.
to have happen.
Exactly.
So it's been a wild ride. Can we start planning a 10-year party yet? No, come on. Can we pick a
not
date?
This was a lot. This was
this is
It
a
looks
lot.
great.
Thank you.
The support of the community and the many businesses. We've read out some of the names of people that are here already. Again, this is going on until 2 p.m. What all is happening here today? We want people to stop by behind the Starlight Cafe, who donated some muffins back there.
Yes.
What time and what all will people be able to do if they stop by
So
the customer appreciation
if
party?
they stop by, they're going to get to spin the wheel. We have some really special prizes for some of our clients to get. We also are serving jambalaya. We have small cakes from Cami. And we have a snowball stand, Tiger's Snowballs, which are the best snowballs in Ascension Parish. So
Yeah, and imagine that. You go to Gonzales and you get jambalaya. I would have never guessed.
Yeah, who would have thought, right?
I would have never guessed. That would caught me by surprise.
We are the capital.
Tell us about Lucy.
So this is Lucy, our goose. our little
Goosehead
mascot.
Insurance.
It is
Yeah.
Goosehead Insurance. We are a franchise, but we are the largest independent franchise in the United States.
Wow.
Lucy goes everywhere with us. She goes to our B&A meetings. She goes to all kind of little events with us. She is just our little mascot. We think she's perfect. We have a much larger one that we dress up as well, but this is our desk, Lucy.
And we have a plans for Lucy. So we want everybody to connect with you on social media. Give everybody the
Yes.
social media account.
So social media is Goosehead Insurance, Tracy P. Furlow Agency. You can go there and follow us there.
All right, Tracy, I know you got a lot of people you want to thank because it's impossible for you or just a few people to accomplish what has been accomplished here in the last
Yes,
five
yes.
years. So why don't you give out those thank yous? I know it's important to you.
Sure. So I want to, thank my husband. He has been a great supporter. This has been something that I did in an unfortunate circumstance that has turned out to be fantastic. And he's been very patient. He's given me the time to be able to grow my business. Then also I want to thank my family, my kids and my grandkids and their support. But also I want to thank my team. We have a wonderful team here. We have honesty, we have integrity, and that is how we run our business.
That's very good. And of course, you can't do it without God either.
Right. Absolutely. Him above is how it all started.
Yeah, and I know the whole story. We don't have to
You
say
do
that
know
right
the
now,
whole
but you and
story,
I
yes.
we met here a couple of weeks ago, and
Yes,
I
yes.
learned how the furlough agency came to be, and I've shared it with Hunter
Mhm.
off the
Sometimes
air.
it's not your plan. Sometimes it is not your plan on how things happen. But
Well,
the plan is his plan.
As the great Skip Bertman says, and many people have said this, but I always have him telling me this: it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it.
Yep.
That is correct.
And what you did about it was start the furlough agency.
Sink or swim.
And here we are 5 years
Yeah.
later, and Brandon Berthlot's in here, and he told me he's already planning the 10-year party.
He can plan it. He can plan it. I'm out. I will just show up.
Well, Tommy's right. It takes a strong person to be able to accomplish what you have in 5 years of doing so, and then you got a great operation over here. So.
Thank you. Thank you
absolutely.
so much for being
All
here.
right, Tracy, you did great. She was really nervous earlier, but you did great. Lucy was got you covered, and it was all great. In hour number 2, we'll speak with Kyle Peterson, who's part of your team. We'll speak to him about a few things. He wants to talk about Pete Maravich, which I'm always good to do because I got to know Pete I was good friends of his, unfortunately, a couple years before he finally passed away. Tracy, thank you so much for having
Thank
us
you.
here, and we appreciate you having us at your customer appreciation party.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, that's Tracy Furlow, the Furlough Agency, Goosehead Insurance. You can find them on Facebook, and we got the information on the screen and all that good stuff for you. All right, Hunter, one thing before we go to break, riveroflifecapsules.com. They have a new formula. I picked up a bottle yesterday. I was in the office over there on Suma off of Essen Lane, and I picked up a bottle of the new ones. I took 2 of them this morning, all natural. If you got aches and pains and inflammatory, this is what you need. I mean, it will help you out, making a difference. Patrick Scallon, who will join us in hour number 2, he told me, he said, Tommy, it's a new formula. You need to give me a report. I said, Patrick, I'll update you. Give me a couple days. I will update you. But River of Life capsules, big for team sports shorts, our families, the whole bit.
Well, and what I love so much about Patrick and his team is the fact that they're not complacent. They have a great product, and it's not even enough for them. They're always trying to find a better way to make you feel better and make the community feel better with their great product. River of Life, you can go to riveroflifecapsules.com, or you can call Patrick and just get him to talk to you about the product. And like Tommy said, he'll be on talking with us in about an hour at 11:30, and you can hear all of the great and positive side effects that come with taking River of Life capsules.
We got the address on the screen, riveroflifecapsules.com. You can go there. You can read all about it. You can set up a free consultation with Patrick and his team. Do it. It's $40 a bottle. It'll be the best $40 a month you spend.
Absolutely.
I've been on it over 2.5 years now. Over 2.5 years, I've been taking River of Life capsules, and I don't not remember. I take my vitamins. I take that.
Yeah.
I do my
It's your daily
my
regimen.
little drill in the morning, and it includes River of Life capsules.
And it has so many, over-the-counter medicine will, only cure one thing or really make you feel better. This will make you feel better with your aches, your pains, and your mental clarity and stress. And when you get around to football season and Lane Kiffin and the Tigers got you on the edge of your seat and you're holding on for dear life, it'll make you feel a little bit more easy. You take a River of Life capsules, you will not regret it.
All right, we're going to take a break. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. We're live and in color from the Furlough Agency, just behind the Starlight Cafe on Burnside in Gonzales, not far from Spartan Stadium where the East Ascension plays. Stop by. They got tons of activities and fun for the family, the kids, the customers, the businesses. They got jambalayas coming soon. It's all here until 2 p.m. We're on the air till noon. We'll take a break, and when we come back, put your seatbelt on. We got Joel Davis coming up. We're going to ask him about the Saints, and he threw out the greatest ceremonial first pitch in the history of summer college baseball at a Rougarou game. We're going to tell you all about that with Joel.
And also why LeBron James didn't come to the Pelicans. I know Joel Davis will have the $1 million answer to that.
Okay, you had to bring him up. Huh? All right, we're going to take a break. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Krysan. Braxton doing a great job back at 1045.com, ESPN, ESPN Southwest, Lafayette, and Lake Charles. Get out to the Gumbo Gator tonight. They need your support. They need a win. They're going to be trying to be a playoff team in the Texas Collegiate League. We're back after this pause. Stay with us.
Discover Grace.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio on this Saturday morning from the Furlough Agency. Carlin DeVere in the house, Carlin DeVere Construction. Randy Crawford in the house, and we're rolling on. We're here till 12 noon, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles at the Customer Appreciation Party. Right now, put your seatbelt on. We got Joel Davis on the phone. Joel, good morning. How are you?
Let me guess. Ron's taking the day off again, TK?
Ron's
The
busy
same
in Lake
on the
Charles.
banner?
He's in Lake Charles trying to get the Gumbo Gators in the playoffs.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hey, but I have a question for
That dude
you.
misses work more often than
Hunter
someone
McCann.
with
Correct. Yeah. Can we get that
Between
narrative
him and
started?
Hunter,
Definitely more
Joe, you and I work. Hunter and Ronnie, it's like vacation
Dude,
city, right?
Joel, I go.
Unbelievable.
Joel, I go on one vacation in the summer, and I'm apparently I've
Hey.
been going forever.
Joel, speaking of the Texas Collegiate League, I must point out that this past week, the best ceremonial first pitch in the history of the Texas Collegiate League was thrown by you, representing Red Zone Fundraising out at Pete Goldsby Field. Can you tell me what went into making that pitch?
Wow. The best pitch ever?
In the history of the Texas Collegiate League.
It was gas.
Wow. Now, I did hear Ronnie say top 3, but I didn't know it was the best.
Well, I got
So
more
I'll
votes
take it.
than Ronnie.
Well, that was a great opportunity. Showed up to the ballpark for Red Zone Fundraising to celebrate our coaches right after the LHSAA Coaches Clinic. We every year we do something for our coaches. We give back this time of year during the summer leading into the football season. And again at the end of the year down in New Orleans for the state championships, we do it again. But during the summer, we obviously have partnered with the Baton Rouge Rougarou, and we appreciate Ron and you, Tommy, and allowing us to come out there and celebrate. And I walked up, and Ron goes, "Hey, you're doing the first pitch with Danny Broussard and a couple other guys, and Craig Lamont." And Danny Broussard, the Hall of Fame coach from St. Thomas More, got a chance to talk to him. That was really great, and didn't even have a chance to think about it, bro. I had like 3 warm-up pitches, TK. And then I took the mound, and I was like, dude, I don't think about it, bro. I just go up there and do it, TK. You know what I'm saying? I don't think about all the eyeball. Matter of fact, TK, when the lights come on, JD the Hog performs at a high level typically.
Came up there and said, "Grip it and rip it." It worked out pretty well.
Hey, Joel,
Yeah,
I was up in the press box, and it was a perfect pitch.
No, I didn't get the radar gun on it, TK.
Well, I've requested Ronnie to buy a TrackMan so we can have the miles per hour on the pitch. It's still on the request list. He hasn't done that yet.
Well, you're up in the booth. I mean, what did it look like? I mean, you can usually tell.
We had a little arm side run, caught the outside part of the plate, but it was a strike no matter who was umpiring. I mean, it was knee high. It was cheese at the knees. I mean, it was nice. I'm going to guess it was. I'm going to guess it was 72 miles an hour.
Yeah, I thought it was between 72 and 75.
See, I got a good eyeball.
And again, no warm up, no. Just go out there and I think I threw mine from the rubber, Ron. I mean, there's some other guys that were 2 or 3 feet in front of the rubber.
Yeah. I mean, you did it right, Joe.
Joel, I got on the rubber.
It's got to become. We're going to start a Rougarou tradition. Joel Davis throwing out at least one ceremonial pitch every summer.
Well, next year I'll have practiced a little bit and gotten warmed up, got the ligaments nice and loose.
I got a question for you.
Hey.
And you don't know what question's coming here, but the people want to know. I want Joel Davis, Woodenhaven Furniture, Government Street, Baton Rouge. I want Joel Davis's reaction to LeBron James signing with the Philadelphia 76ers.
He's just so ridiculous, dude. He's so ridiculous. Nobody. I mean, it's just LeBron James, dude. I mean, he's just like there's no loyalty to him, bro. He's just gonna go where the wind blows and where he can think he can. He's got one goal. It's not about the Sixers. It's not about the fans. It's none about that. It's nothing to do with the fan base, the Sixers, nothing. It's all to do with LeBron James.
Joel.
It's all about LeBron James. 100% all about himself. And he could care less about who shows up to those games. He could care less. Oh, he does care about who's on the team because that's going to help him get to his ultimate goal. And he also feels like the East is easier to get there than the West. Let's be straightforward with that as well.
Do you think that went into the decision not to choose the Pelicans? Choosing the East?
Oh, my God, yes. Of course. Of course. What is the easiest path And look, Tom Brady will be the first to tell you as well. Like, let's win the division, right? Let's get the first seed, and hopefully Peyton Manning gets booted in the playoffs before I have to play him. And that would come straight from the mouth of one Tom Brady. Like, yeah, it's nice to beat those guys, but if you don't have to play them, that's even better, right? To get to your ultimate goal, which is a world championship. So, of course, it came into play. At this point, it's not about the money.
Well,
it's not
obviously
about any of that. It's about winning another ring, and that's all he cares about. He could care less about every single fan in those stands. He doesn't care about the Sixers. He doesn't care about Philadelphia,
Joel,
and that's why it's Oogie.
Here's the only thing I'm going to say about LeBron James. I'm not a fan. That's obvious. And I was telling some people earlier today here at the Furlough Agency. LeBron James, there's one thing he needs to know. One thing. The NBA was here long before him. It'll be here long after him. He is not the glue holding the place together. That would be my message to LeBron.
And look, until the NBA realizes that what we saw in the NBA Finals, were no whistles, that the referees were not making an impact in the game. It was physical brand of basketball. It was the best basketball that I have seen in a very, very long time. And I actually enjoyed the NBA Finals because there wasn't a ticky-tack foul every third possession down the court. It wasn't just these ridiculous plays where it took away from the actual game. And that, to me, is how you can win the NBA fan back, is let the NBA Finals be played out during the regular season. And I know while we have 82 games, they're probably not going to do that because it's physically demanding night after night after night after night. I get it. Well, here's the deal. You got 82 games, and you have 82 games, and the season goes on forever, and the playoffs go on forever. Reduce the season to 62 games and let these guys play ball, bro. That's what I would like to see. You're going to make more money because there's going to be more viewership, and then you can sell more. You can sell the viewership because more people are watching the game.
Agreed.
We're visiting with Joel Davis, Wooden Haven Furniture. You need to stop by on Government Street in Baton Rouge. Joel, this Tuesday, the New Orleans Saints report to camp in Metairie. Wednesday is their first practice. They got many practices that are open to the public. Joel, I'm getting some good vibes out of New Orleans. There's a little excitement starting to brew about the Saints. What's Joel Davis's temperature on the Saints right now?
It's all about the quarterback, bro. I think it's all about what Tyler Shough brings to the table this year. I think that's how most people feel. I think that the roster's good enough to win. I don't know if it's good enough to win a world championship, but I think it's good enough to make the playoffs. I think it's good enough to win the division. I think it's good enough to win a game or two if you get on a run in the playoffs. And then you could run into a team that you can beat. You could run into a team that could beat you. But it's all about the quarterback. What Tyler Shough are we going to get? Are we going to get that sophomore slump, or are we going to get a guy that's going to start, making his way into future greatness, right? He's got all the skills that you're looking for. He can do it all. 67% completion percentage in his first year, better TD to 2-to-1 TD touchdown ratio. He's going to have to put 30 touchdowns on the board this year through the ground and through the air. On the ground and in the air, he's got to get 30 touchdowns for me to be an ultimate believer that he can be, because he's going to be 20. He's going to be 27 this year. He might even be 28. I think he's 27 right now. He'll be 28 years old when the start of the season. So, not that that's old. We understand that. I mean, look what Matthew Stafford right now is almost 40 years old, and he looks better than he's ever looked in his entire life. The peptides are working, my dude. So whatever he's got to do to stay in the league for another 10 to 12 years, obviously I'll take that any day of the week. You only got Drew Brees for 15. So maybe we can get this kid for 15 years. If we can get him for – how many years did we have? We had Drew for what, 15 years? How many years do we have Drew? 15 years.
15, yeah.
Yeah, give me 15 years with Tyler Shough. If we can somehow milk 15 years out of his career, I'd be happy as a pig and you know what.
Yeah,
Tyler Go ahead.
No. So Tyler Shough's 26. He'll be 27 when the league starts. But I'd be happy with having him for 12 years. If you get a double digit,
I'm
in
happy
terms of
for
years,
this year.
yeah, you're right. But if he really does pan out, I agree with you, Joel. Having him for a long term like that, it's unmatched in the NFL, where there's so many changes at every other position. Having that stability at the best position on the field is key. But Joel, I was going to ask you specifically when it comes to training camp, outside of looking at the returning players, any of the rookies that you really have your eyes on and hoping to have a standout or that really would make you feel better about them going into the season, their impact?
Tyson. I mean,
Season
I
answer,
think that Tyson can be just massive. I'll give you another one. Not even a rookie, a second-year player, the kid out of Syracuse, the defensive end that was a 7th-round draft pick for the Saints last year. I'd like to see where he comes into training camp. His name escapes me right now. Diggs, yes, Diggs, the defensive end / outside linebacker who was a terror at Syracuse. He was a 7th-round draft pick of the New Orleans Saints last year. I'd like to see what impact he can give you on third downs. Can he actually get into the rotation this year? I think that's a big deal. I think that the team is of course, my guy from Georgia, Delp. I mean, the tight end. I think that he can give you so much in the game. Spider 2Y banana, bro. Let's just run it over and over and get that guy coming from the left side of the line across the field in the flats. Holy cow. Who's going to guard that dude? Right? Especially if you've got movement down the field that is just spraying this defense wide open.
Joel,
that dude could be a dog.
Tell us what's happening at Wooden Haven Furniture on Government Street in Baton Rouge today.
All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to bypass what's happening at Wooden Haven Furniture Company because I want to give a shout out to my boy Hunter Wells with Wells Pools. I mean, Wells Pool Service. This dude's been doing my pool, TK and Hunter, for probably 5-6 years. I have never had to call him to come back to do anything. He's always been there. He's changed out my lights. He does everything. So I called him the other day and I said, Hunter, I need someone. So I'm thinking about selling the mansion, boys, and buying a house in Florida. I'm very close. Well, I'm not moving. I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to downsize here. And then I'm going to buy a beach house. That's the goal, right? But I called Hunter in. I said, Hunter, I want to touch up the pads around the pool, do a couple things. And the dude says, I got you, Mr. Joel. So I want to give a shout out to this guy. I'm paying for it. I'm not getting any kickback on this, but I wanted to give him a shout out because he's just always been so good to me. Wells Pool Service, Hunter Wells, 22. Write this number down, folks. If you need a pool guy that's dependable, that shows up and does it when you need it, right? His number is 225-354-6060. Family owned and operated, free estimates, weekly pool maintenance, and pool remodels. That's the key. He doesn't just clean your pool. He can do remodels as well. So Hunter Wells, thank you so much for the last 5 years. And if I don't sell my house, for the next 5 to 10. So I just wanted to give him a shout out as opposed to what's happening at Wooden Haven today.
All right, Joe, you have a great day. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one, Joel.
Before we go to break, I'll remind you about Marchand's Interior and Hardware, the premier flooring dealer in Ascension Parish, the greater Baton Rouge area. They got a team of experts that can get whatever type floor you need, wood, vinyl, whatever it is, they can do it and put it in your budget. They're the experts, premier flooring dealers, Marchand's Interior and Hardware, located a couple of blocks from here, off of Burnside in Gonzales. And today was Brentley Marchand's birthday. So if you run into Brentley today, we tell him happy birthday from Sports Shorts Radio. Marchand's Interior and Hardware, your premier flooring dealer in the greater Baton Rouge area. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more sports stuff for you. We're going to have some fun here at the Furlough Agency, the insurance company, doing their 5-year anniversary customer appreciation party here from 10. It's going to be going until 2 o'clock. Food, drink, fun, door prizes, gifts. It's all at the Furlough Agency in Gonzales, Ascension Parish. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Christ, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. We're back after this pause.
back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X. We are live in Gonzales, Louisiana at the Furlough Agency 5-year anniversary customer appreciation party. They're going to be having fun until 2 o'clock. Great food, giveaways, a lot of fun, a lot of good vibes. Be sure you stop by right behind the Starlight Cafe off of Burnside in Ascension Parish. Hunter McCann, you typically do WBRZ's Best Bets. You very successful all year. No bets today because all you got is Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we'll have some.
Give us the update.
I'll have some Major League picks posted later this afternoon. Hadn't got around to looking at the slate this morning. Been over here hanging out with Tommy and Tracy this morning, but I'll get back to that grind a little bit after the show. Have those picks posted over at WBRZ.com. You can go there, go to the sports tab, click Best Bets. You'll see a nice post. It just says baseball, baseball, and more baseball. As the only thing on this weekend is the MLB, and of course the WNBA All-Star Game is this weekend. But I will not have a pick on the All-Star Game. So it's just been baseball this time of year. But like we talked about earlier on in hour number one, Tommy, football's on the mind. Looking at some of the current odds for Week 1, we talked a lot about LSU Clemson the past few weeks. That line, since it is open, has held steady as the Tigers as 11.5-point favorites up until yesterday. Where LSU is now a 10.5-point favorite against Clemson. You still got to lay 410 on the money line to make $100. They're still minus 410. But the Tigers 10.5-point favorites now to open up the season in Lane Kiffin's debut in Tiger Stadium and a primetime matchup on September 5th. Over-under in that one, Tommy, 50.5. I don't really know how to feel either way, one way or the other on that, because that could be an offensive onslaught if LSU's offense is really as good as a lot of people hope with Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin. But got to remember the defense with Blake Baker. They have some key guys coming back with Whit Weeks and company, and Daugherty coming in as well. And you still have Baker at the defensive helm, so they may limit Clemson on the points. So 50.5 is where the over-under stands currently. Other one that stood out to me, Tommy, I was looking at the Ole Miss Louisville game after Pete Golding talked earlier this week. Ole Miss on Sunday night. That's kind of the prime time, big time matchup Sunday night. Opened up their season against Louisville, 6.5-point favorites against Louisville. Over under in that game, 55.5.
Yeah, and Hunter, again, all year long you have picks, different sports.
Yeah.
Tell people how they can get to it.
Yeah, well, of course, when we get back around the football season, it'll be locked and loaded in both college football, NFL, and everything else in between. Get all those picks, like I mentioned, WBRZ.com, and follow me on social media. It's McCann_Hunter on X. I post my picks there as well. Get links to all of my stuff at WBRZ.com. It's the best way to do action is to follow my picks, WBRZ.com. Currently, I'll give you the current percentages we were for last year. And currently, in the MLB, we're 59.7% so far, a little bit more than halfway through the MLB season. College football last year was 58%. We finished the year last year in college football. So, and in the NFL, 55.6%. So everything
that's
above
making people money.
Correct. Everything above 55, usually they say you're making good money. Anything above 60, you're making pretty good money. So MLB, we're currently on that 60 threshold, and we were just below that in college football last year. But been pretty good track record the last 3 years of Best Bets. So get all those over at WBRZ.com.
And that's coming up. And I do have a question for you. People ask me this all the time, and you're the betting expert on the show here. What is your thoughts on betting on preseason football, the NFL, the exhibition season? Share some thoughts there for these people who can't wait for football to get here, whether it's high school football, college football, the NFL. What about betting on preseason NFL?
Just take a lighter and light your money on fire if you want to bet on preseason. So I get the excitement of wanting to do it, and it kind of gives you some skin in the game betting preseason, right? You know, like I don't really care who wins between the Chiefs and the Saints because all the backups are in and blah, 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 blah. But I'll throw $100 because I support the Saints, and there you go. Yeah, you may double up your money, but it's unpredictable. You know, there's no really insight that I can give you to be like, oh, I'm confident on taking this because of X, Y, and Z, because you have no idea when starters will be pulled, what backups will actually come in, and how long those backups will stay. It's so much unpredictability. I don't ever suggest to anybody on truly betting on preseason anything, betting on all-star games, betting on anything like that's so unpredictable. If you really value your money, just keep it around for something that you can actually get insight. And I'll tell you the right road to take. But a lot of people, the only reason they really want to do it is they think they can make a quick buck. And maybe you get lucky and you do. That's the name of the game. But it really, preseason anything comes down to you getting lucky.
Well, luck counts. There's no doubt about
Sure.
that. And Hunter, I don't know a lot of things, but one thing I do know is I know a way that you cannot lose a bet. And that is don't place
never place
one.
it. Yeah.
Don't bet and you won't lose. Okay. If you don't bet, you're not going to lose.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's a guarantee.
That is a
'Cause
guarantee.
when you gamble, you might win, you might lose. It's like running for political office. You might win, you might lose. You have to understand that going in.
Know your
and
risks.
some people don't. And, a couple weeks from now, we'll be back at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. A couple weeks down the road. Next Saturday, we'll be at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. I'm already looking forward to my Sharon special sandwich. You knew I was going to order that before I even said that. But no, so it's going to have a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. We got to have a question for you.
Hit me.
From Craig. He wants to know, do you have an over and under on the length of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame speeches?
Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and get you that. Once again, those things either go so long or so short, and there's usually no in between.
And as Craig brings that up, 3 people tomorrow. It starts at noon. It'll be about 12:30 when Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones, and Carlos Beltran all going to get inducted into Cooperstown to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Jeff Kent will wear a Giants hat. He's the 16th Giant player to ever do that. And Andrew Jones will wear a Braves hat. He'll be the 12th on his bust, I'm talking about. And then Beltran, only the third Mets hat.
Can you believe that?
Carlos Beltran. I think these 3 guys all deserve it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll catch some of that tomorrow. It's a special thing for Major League Baseball and those 3 Hall of Famers, and we'll see how that goes a little bit forward. All right, so as we pushing towards the end of hour number 1, we're at the Furlough Agency in Gonzales, the 5-year anniversary of Tracy and her team being in business. It's their customer appreciation party. They're going to be here until 2 o'clock. They appreciate all the support for the community. They're very grateful. We talked about with Tracy in hour number 1. We're going to talk to Kyle Peterson in hour number 2. You can make me tell a Pete Maravich story because he now knows that I was one of the lucky people to get to know Pete the last couple of years of his life. We did some stuff together. But anyway, so that's where we're at. We've got a whole nother hour for Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles, as well as Facebook, X, and YouTube where we're streaming. Appreciate all the people streaming, all the people making comments, and, of course, the people listening on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and ESPN Southwest Louisiana, covering the Lafayette and Lake Charles market. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Christ, and in hour number 2, we'll speak to Jumbo Ronnie Rance. We'll speak to Patrick Scallon of riveroflifecapsules.com. All of that and more from the Furlough Agency in Gonzales. Stay with us.
For the professional, it's not enough to just
Welcome back to Sports Shorts Radio.
All right, we roll into hour number 2. Again, we're on the air till noon, but the Customer Appreciation Party goes until 2 p.m. here behind the Starlight Cafe on Burnside in Gonzales, not far from Spartan Stadium. Stop by and have some fun and see a lot of great people. It's the Customer Appreciation Party for the Furlough Agency. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Chrysam. We appreciate you listening. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, and people that are watching the stream on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Right now, we're going to visit with Kyle Peterson. He's part of Tracy's team here with the Furlough Agency. Good morning, Kyle. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Kyle, let's talk a little insurance, right? No, okay. Yeah. What is your role here? What do you specialize in? When people call the Furlough Agency and ask for Kyle, how are you going to help them?
I'm an insurance producer here. I've been in this industry for a little less than 4 years. We have a background in real estate, so we do a lot of home, auto, umbrella, flood coverage. Work with a lot of realtors and lenders in that community. And really just we like to assess everyone's needs and not necessarily look for the cheapest product unless they tell us. We want to make sure they have all the correct endorsements on their policy so that if, that 10 to 20% of claims are water backup. A lot of people miss that or a lot of agents take it off to save $12 a year. And that's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that our clients are covered the same way my mom and my sister is covered.
So you want to make sure you're protecting the client and their family. Correct. And all of their property, anything you're interested in. I mean, that's their assets. And like Tracy said in hour number 1, if somebody comes to you and they have what they need, you're going to tell them that. You're
Absolutely.
Going to say, hey, you're in good shape. And this is why, just check back with me or whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We always feel like that just taking care of people, it comes back to you. Tracy's been in this business a long time. She's been a great mentor to me, and we treat everybody like a friend, and just kind of go through and make sure they're in the right place.
All right. So when you call the Furlough Agency, Kyle will be happy to help you, meet with you, whatever you got to do. And he will make sure you have what you need, because he, like Tracy, they appreciate the support of this community and all of the customers. And so many businesses have helped out with the party today, and friends and family. It's a big thing. You got any big thank yous you want to give out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everyone here in the crowd that has been people that have come in and visit and said hello and stuck their head in. That's great. And this office, actually, we have a lot of people that stop by throughout the week. So just very thankful to the community. The area that we're in Gonzales is just very, very supportive of she and I, our team. The insurance industry in general right now it's pretty exciting. Everything's getting, like, the carriers are coming back, the prices are coming down, everything's kind of settling. So hopefully we don't have any knock on wood.
Well, I mean, insurance can be a roller coaster.
Sure,
There's
absolutely.
hard times, there's soft times in the insurance business, and that's why you're here, to make sure the customer, the client, and their family have what they need. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And look, we want to tell them, I want to look at everything you have and make it a package deal. And a lot of people have different policies in different places, and sometimes they're missing discounts. That's what we like to do, is just put everything together.
All right, I have a question for you.
Sure.
3-point shooting contest. Who wins, you or Pete Maravich?
Oh, no. Look. Well, I mean, other than Pete no longer being with us, yeah, I'm probably hit 3 out of 10. I think he hits 30 out of 30. He may somewhere near that.
Well, this came up because when I was talking to Kyle earlier today, I posted a picture of the pistol in his New Orleans Jazz uniform, because I got to be very close to him the last 3 years of his life on my Facebook page, and you saw it, and that's what started this conversation.
Yeah. He's a hero of mine, but the basketball videos are fantastic. They're just unbelievable to watch. The things that he was doing ahead of his time. I think his game from the 70s translate more to today's game than a lot of players from that time.
Absolutely.
However, I became a big hero of his. I graduated from Parkview Baptist for my senior year. I was assigned his autobiography to read as my final, and so his story, his faith, just made me idealize him even more. He's sounded like a great guy to me.
Yeah, well, I shared some stories with you, and
Yeah.
I could literally tell some stories about Pete for 8 hours. In fact, shortly after he passed away, there was a big article in the USA Today, and they interviewed me. I was running the Covington Recreation Department over in Covington. He was coaching a bitty basketball team. No surprise, the name of his team was the Pistols.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when he tragically passed away on January 5, 1988, that was a Thursday. We were supposed to have the opening of the Covington Bitty Basketball League that Saturday, big opening day, kind of like the big party here at the Furlough Agency. Of course, we canceled it all because he was scheduled to coach his team as one of the games that day. So, we miss him, and he was a different dude. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But he's an icon. He was a legend.
Oh, yeah.
And
Died doing what he loved.
Huh?
He was on the court with James Dobson at Focus on the Family in California, doing what he loved. 40 years old.
Yeah. Well, the eerie thing is, 10 years before that, he did an interview at Sports Illustrated. He said, "I don't want to have a heart attack and die in 10 years." And he had a heart attack, died in 10 years. That was in writing. But I'll share this story on the air that I already told Kyle. But Pete told me one day, he said, in 1969, I came out of LSU. I dribbled the ball between my legs. I threw a pass behind my back, and they called me a hot dog. Kids got taken out of games if they dribbled it between their legs back then. He said 10 years later, Irvin Johnson started doing that, and they called it magic. And it was no different than what Pete did when he was called a hot dog. That was probably a little something that stuck in his craw. Because he told me that like about every other week. Like they called him magic. They called me a hot dog, and that was that. So a true legend. Everybody knows the LSU stories and all of that. And the greatest, 44.2 points a night.
No
with
3-point
3
line.
years with no 3-point line. That you don't need to say anything else after that.
I think Dale Brown went back and charted
He
it
did.
and said that it was somewhere around, he would have averaged somewhere around 57 a game at the 3-point line. And that's
Unbelievable.
not even counting the fact that he would know.
Well,
that
if he
there's a
knew the
three-point
line was there, he was
Yeah.
never going inside of it.
Right.
Or rare, unless it was a wide open layup, he might do it. You
Right.
know? But I was in the Dome tonight. He scored 68 against the Knicks. I was in the Superdome and fouled out with 5 minutes to go. He'd have had 80.
Yeah.
Fouled out on a BS charging call. I remember. I was sitting right by the court. But anyway, hey, Kyle, we appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do and you being a part of the team here at the Furlough Agency. And when people call here, they can talk to Tracy, they can talk to you. Any member of the team can help people because it's all about the customers at the Furlough Agency.
Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. I'm really excited. I've been standing there listening to the show. It's about to be just a dream, probably 9 months for LSU fans with Lane Kiffin and Will Wade. And then, Jay Johnson's going to be right back.
He's going to reload. There's no question.
Yeah. It's
Kim Mulkey. You can't leave Kim Mulkey out.
It's about to be, we're going to wake up and it's going to be June of next year. And it's going to be a fever dream.
Yeah, well, let's hope it is.
And hopefully there's some hardware somewhere.
But see, back in January, I thought LSU was going to be in Omaha, but I was wrong. Okay, we all know what happened there. When you don't have pitching, you don't want to go far in baseball, or when the pitching is not what you thought it was going to be. So, but anyway, no. So I know you'll be keeping tabs on that. You got to stay connected to our show. We'll keep you up to date, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, that's Kyle Peterson, part of the team here at the Furlough. Here we go. A message. A huge Pistol Pete fan enjoyed all that stuff. So you can never go wrong in Baton Rouge Gonzalez talking about Pete Maravich. So pretty good deal there.
Well, Tommy, while we were doing the interview, I got some breaking news out of the NFL. Kyle Shanahan suffered significant injuries in a car accident about a week and a half ago. That will now leave him limited as team training camp opens. He broke his nose, 3 ribs, his hand, and needed over 40 stitches in the face, and suffered a severe concussion on July 14th at a car accident when he collided with an SUV near his Northern California home. That's coming from Adam Schefter. Of course, Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. So,
are the 49ers on the Saints schedule this year? I have the Saints schedule.
Don't think so, but I need to be more familiar with the Saints schedule, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm familiar with the LSU schedule.
Way more than the
and
Saints.
I the Raging Cajuns, McNeese, Southeastern. I got all those schedules in the phone. I got to get the Saints.
No,
schedule.
they're not.
They do not play the 49. It used to be in the same division when
correct
years ago. So well, that's tough. We hope he gets
better.
Right.
Praise for him and his family.
We mentioned it. The Saints report Tuesday. Okay, in Metairie. I remember the years when they'd go somewhere for training camp, but they got a great facility in Metairie, significant improvements to that facility. There are some practices that are open to the public. If you're interested in going to a Saints practice, go to NewOrleansSaints.com and all the information is there.
Well, Joe talked a little bit also about training camp and what he's looking for and things like that. I'll say one thing about training camp. The most important thing to me is not about the performance on the field. It's about who comes out of training camp healthy. I think the most important thing for the Saints this year is I think they actually, and I agree with Joe when he says this, I think they have the pieces to get to have a playoff run. I do think that the Saints can be back in the postseason this year, but I think it is going to contend a lot on the fact that they have all of their starters healthy. The Saints have been bit by the injury bug a lot since 2020. I feel like this needs to be the season where everybody's on the same page and everybody is healthy and at full strength. If you got the 1-2 punch of Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara in the backfield, Tyler Shuck is looking sharp, and you got your wideouts in both Olave, and if Jordan Tyson can step up and be what everybody hopes he'll be in year one and stays healthy, that's the main thing for him as well. And, I didn't even mention Jawan Johnson and Oscar Delp. There's a lot of offensive caliber, high-end caliber weapons that Tyler Shuck's can have at his disposal, but they got to be on the field. And so hopefully everybody comes out of training camp and is healthy and ready to go for the season. And that will allow the Saints to be on the best trajectory to make it to the postseason and probably the weakest conference.
Before we go to break, I'll remind you about Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Jason and the staff do a super job. Tonight is steak night at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. That's a great deal. And they got an unbelievable brunch tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, just a couple of minutes over the Mississippi River Bridge. Plenty of parking. Connect with Court Street Cafe on Facebook and Instagram. You'll get all the lunch specials, the dinner specials, the drink specials. That's Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. In fact, I'll be out there Monday night for Sports Shorts Monday, 6:30, live from Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Now, when we come back, Ronnie Rance will join us from Lake Charles. He's over there doing Gumbo Gator stuff. He'll update you on the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. You need to get to the park tonight and tomorrow night. Joe Miller Ballpark on the campus of McNeese. Support the Gumbo Gators. Also, I think that game's on TV tonight in Lake Charles. We'll get him to tell you about that. The Rougarou, who missed out on the playoffs as of last night. We'll get into all of that with Ronnie Rance, Jumbo, the guy, the big guy. He will join us here when we come back. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, live from the Furlough Agency in Gonzales, Ascension Parish with Hunter McCann. I'm Tommy Krysan. Stay with us.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio on this Saturday morning. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Facebook, X, and YouTube. We appreciate everybody listening, watching, whatever you're doing. You're doing a little bit of both. Hunter McCann, Tommy Chrysan with you. We are efforting to connect with Ronnie Rance. He's in Lake Charles. Gumbo Gators hosting Abilene Flying Bison tonight and tomorrow night at Joe Miller Ballpark on the campus of McNeese, the home of Justin Hill and the McNeese Cowboys. So as soon as we connect with Ron, we'll put him on and get an update on the Gumbo Gators as well as the Rougarou, who will not be in the playoffs in the Texas Collegiate League. Playoffs start this coming Tuesday night. So we'll get Ronnie on if he pops in. Hunter, let's talk a little Major League Baseball. We mentioned it quickly, but 3 guys going to be inducted tomorrow. The TV stuff starts at noon. They'll start talking around 12:30 Central Time. Jeff Kent, power hitting second baseman, San Francisco Giants, elected by the Veterans Committee.
National League MVP in 2000.
Yeah, Jeff Kent, he was steady, consistent, and a little above average at everything he did. He could run, he could hit with power. He played a great second base. He's a great guy. All accounts where he was a great teammate. And I'm happy to see him going. And he's the 16th player who will wear a San Francisco Giant hat in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, looking forward to the rest of the guys as well. Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran. With Jones, won the Gold Glove, I believe it was 10 times. And with Beltran, of course, north of 430 home runs, get you a pretty good company with a lot of the major leaguers. But he was also consistent for so many years, and at center field, he was so much fun to watch. And so I think all 3 of these guys are really deserving.
One thing I liked about Andrew Jones, he looked like he was having fun. I mean, the ultimate was Ken Griffey Jr., the kid. He had fun. Andrew Jones had fun playing baseball. And in baseball, all your money, all your college scholarship and NIL money and your major league money goes right up the middle of the field. Catcher, pitcher, shortstop, center field. Andrew Jones was a center fielder who was about as good as it gets out there in center field. I enjoyed watching him play. It was fun to watch him have fun playing baseball. And you know me, I'm a baseball guy. And when you see a guy like Ken Griffey Jr. or Andrew Jones who is having fun playing a kid's game at that level, that's
he just
great.
always looked like a kid.
And then Carlos Beltran, I mean, he's going to go in with a Mets hat on. I was a little surprised when I read he's only the 3rd person.
Yeah, me too. When you said that, I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, they've only been around since the early 60s. But Beltran, a switch hitter who did all kind of things. We got Ronnie?
We do.
Ronnie Rance, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Good morning, Ron. How are you?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, we're doing good here at the Furlough Agency. We got a huge crowd here. We got people watching, people listening. And I told them you were going to update us on the Gumbo Gators. What's on the table for them tonight and tomorrow at Joe Miller Ballpark?
Yeah, I mean, Lake Charles Gumbo Gators are playing some good baseball right now. Unfortunately, not able to go 2 for 2 with my franchises, right? 25 was the year of the Rougarou, had an amazing season, 40-11, won the TCL championship. But things kind of didn't go the Rougarou way this year. A lot of injuries and players just not having subpar years. But in Lake Charles, it's a good story, Tommy. A year ago, before I got involved in October of this past fall, last year they won 9 games total, 9 games. And then currently they've got the 2nd most wins in the league. Currently they sit in 2nd place in the second half of the season. They're in the playoffs if the season were to end today. 2 more games to go. It's a battle between the Brazos Valley Bombers, the
Abilene,
the San Antonio River Monsters, and the Gumbo Gators. There's 3 teams battling for 2 spots in the last two games of the season to make the playoffs to take on Victoria Generals and the Acadiana Cane Cutters, who both went 1-2 in the first half of the year. So exciting stuff tonight over at Joe Miller Ballpark in Lake Charles. It's Christmas in July. So check this out. You're going to have Santa Claus throwing out the first pitch. You're going to have Christmas music playing the entire night. All the bangers, all the top songs, right? We're giving away a free Christmas present every inning. All kids 17 and under get a free raffle ticket upon entry. We're going to have a drawing each inning, giving away bikes, and we got Marucci bats and all kinds of stuff we're giving away. We're going to have Christmas themed, decorations. We're going to have people dressed up in Christmas stuff. It's going to be really cool.
And gates open at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. First pitch 7:05. And it's also District 6, District 7 Little League baseball night. So all the Little Leaguers from District 6 and 7 in the Southwest Louisiana get in free if they wear their jersey or hat, and we'll have them on the field before the game.
All right, I want everybody to jump on that for the Gumbo Gators of Lake Charles tonight. Hey, Ronnie, SEC Media Days have come and gone since we did radio last week. Lane Kiffin, kind of the star of the show, followed closely by Pete Golding. Ronnie, your thoughts on Lane Kiffin and SEC Media Days?
I mean, this was a different Lane Kiffin than I think people expected to see, right? Nationally, I think people expected to see an arrogant, maybe, cocky guy, probably getting lambasted with questions about last year and leaving early, and maybe he said something controversial, and that was not the case at all. Instead, you saw a mature, deep thinker, Lane Kiffin, a guy who seems to, he's kicked the bottle for a couple of years ago from a few seasons back, hasn't been drinking. He got off social media in the recent history and talked about that, how it's changed him and maybe for the better. And he just seemed like a better human being, quite frankly, and answered things extremely well. And I think really shocked the national media, and I think gave LSU fans even more excitement and confidence that he's the guy for the job, and that you're going to see this LSU football program stay near the top of the country, while he's there.
Well, Ronnie, I brought up in hour number one, and I'd love to get your opinion. If you think that maturity that he brought to Media Days is a reflection of where he's currently at, and that he doesn't have to be over top and real zealous and grab national headlines as the Ole Miss head coach and have to sell Ole Miss's brand by doing that, that he can kind of just be the captain of the ship and allow LSU's brand to bring the players to him and let the success on the field kind of speak for itself.
Yeah, I think there's some to that. I mean, we all know a lot of people who will do the social media purge thing, right? You get off of it for a little while. And people do that, throughout all the time, and just regular life where, hey, I'm going to get off for a month, or I'm going to get off for a couple months and all that. And then when they get back on, they're maybe a little different with how they went about it. But yeah, there might be something to that. He's a guy who's well connected, right? Has a lot of friends like Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, and others, and maybe he takes some of their advice as well. Maybe he's listened to some of their feedback, and I can buy into that. I don't know if it's that much of a. I don't know if there was that much thought process that went into the whole why he's changed or why he got off social media. That it's that deep that, oh, I don't need to do it now that I'm at LSU versus Ole Miss. I think it's more like what he just said. His son. Think about it. As parents, or not, people that when you're around them, they're constantly on their phone. They're constantly looking at their phone. They seem distracted and all that. Well, imagine if you're a child and you're always interacting with your mom or dad, and they never look up at you, and they're always on their phone and all that. Well, I'm sure his kids noticed that, because if I was around Lane Kiffin in the spring a good bit and all that in the winter. And the dude was always looking down on his phone, whether he's at an LSU baseball game or whatever, it doesn't matter. And so I think probably they were like, Dad, you're always on your phone. I bet you can't give up social media. And probably they said it more than once. And he was like, you're right. And I'm going to prove to you I can be more present. And we probably all could take a page out of his book. But I think it's real. I think we're all addicted to our phones, some more than others. I see it, with summer college baseball between the Rougarou and the Gumbo Gators. I mean, heck, I had some interns went into the convulsions when I told them, hey, you can't have your phone when you're working a game for 3 hours. You'd have thought, I made them walk home 30 miles. But so I think it's a real thing that as a society we all have, and I believe that it has changed him for the better. Now, how long does he stay off social media? I don't expect it to be a forever thing, but I do think whenever he does get back on, I do think he will be different.
Ronnie, tomorrow, Jeff Kent, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame up in Cooperstown. Your thoughts on those three guys going to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, none of them were like my favorite player, because I was not a big Braves fan. I was always Cubs when Andrew Jones was there. And then Jeff Kent was kind of the surly veteran. I feel like Beltran and Kent are guys that, career Hall of Famers, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know that they ever really got their their flowers per se as being the best players, best player of their generation or a decade or any of that while they play. But when you look up and you stack all the years together and you see the consistency and the greatness over time, and baseball's about that. It's a stat-driven a game, and you do get credit if you play 15 years, and you do get credit if you hit a certain amount of homers and all that. And I feel like those two guys kind of fit in that category where Andrew Jones was a freak center fielder and freak athlete.
We're visiting with Ronnie Rance. He's in Lake Charles getting ready for the Gumbo Gator game tonight at Joe Miller Ballpark. Christmas in July. You need to get out there. Hey, Ronnie, this Tuesday down in Metairie, the New Orleans Saints will report for fall camp. They'll begin practice Wednesday. I'm getting a lot of good vibes out of New Orleans from some of our media colleagues down there. There's some excitement about Tyler Shuck, Kellen Moore, and Cam Jordan and Kamara and A-Chain. Your thoughts on the Saints as we approach the end of July?
Yeah, I'm not going with the A-Chain. I'm going ATN. I'm sorry. The people in Jennings can be upset with me or whatever. We've had a lot of controversy at the Rougarou game the other day. We had some Red Zone fundraising was there. They had a bunch of coaches, and some of them had, some of them knew the kid when he was in high school or coached at schools next to him and knew the family, and they were torn. Like some were like, oh yeah, I can remember A-Chain, and others were like, no, I knew him all his life. He was always ATN. So I'm going ATN. I think the A-Chain thing I can't get a hold of, but no, there's a lot of excitement about this team. I think the 7.5 win mark in Vegas, I believe, is what it is, right, Hunter?
Yeah,
is it still that?
Yeah, it's still that.
I actually like the over, where last year I loved the under. I would probably say I think they can get to 8 wins, maybe 9, So, gun to the head, I would probably say give me 8. I like the schedule, the way it falls and all that. But we're putting a lot on Tyler Shuck. I mean, the guy played, half a season against terrible teams, and many of which had nothing to play for at the end of the year. And we're kind of, judging that. It's kind of like judging preseason and thinking, but then they don't blitz in the preseason. So I think let's slow our roll a little bit on Tyler Shuck. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. To think that he's going to be Jaden Daniels-ish is maybe a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, well, that's certainly gay. Hey, Ronnie, one more time, tell us what's happening at Joe Miller Ballpark at McNeese in Lake Charles tonight. Christmas in July. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, really cool. If you're in the Lake Charles area, come on out tonight at 7, tomorrow at 7. Tomorrow's the final regular season game of the year. We got a 4 for $40 promotion, 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 drinks, 4 Cokes, all for $40 to the game. But tonight, Christmas in July, and the game actually will be televised locally on local TV as well. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff going on. Santa Claus throwing out the first pitch, prizes each and every inning. So make sure you come out to the ballpark. One last thing, TK, before we go. Joe Buck is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. The son of Jack Buck, so a father-son combo going in. They're winning the Frick Award. Joe Buck, for me, top 3 play-by-play of all time. What do you think?
I agree with that, and that's a subjective thing. They got announcers that I like that you don't like, and we don't need to get into that right now. But no, Joe Buck, a long time, and just the way he broadcasted the game, you could tell he loved it, and that meant I could sense that when he announced the game, and it could be a game in the middle of June out on the West Coast. When he announced the game, you could tell he loved baseball.
24 World Series he called on television, more than any other broadcaster, and still plenty in the tank. Be curious to see if ever the network he's at or somebody is able to bring him back to do something later in life. But also, to me, equally as good on football. And that's a lot of the greats did many sports. And Joe Buck is one of those guys where football, baseball, doesn't matter. He's on the Mount Rushmore for me on either.
The only thing I've never liked that Joe Buck said was he recently said in an interview that his favorite call was the Minneapolis Miracle. And other than that, I agree with Joe Buck with a lot of other things.
Hey, that's cool. Hey, Ronnie, thank you for taking time out your busy schedule today. We'll be at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine next Saturday for Sports Shorts Radio. So, Ronnie, I hope everything goes great tonight, and go Gumbo Gators.
Yeah, appreciate it, boys. We'll see you next week.
See you, Ron. Before we go to break, TK, I wanted to tell you I got an official prediction from Jason McCann, my father. He wanted me to tell you. He says the Saints go 11-6 and win the NFC South. You can take it to the bank right now.
Is he at happy hour?
He's a little delulu. He
like
loves the Kool-Aid, man.
That's where you got it.
But he's saying 11-6.
I'm pretty sure. So, hey, we're all good with that. Hey, don't forget the Island Golf Course in Plaquemine. Hunter, I still have that gift certificate
gotta
that
go.
I won at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame auction for 4 rounds of golf. When the weather gets
Yeah,
cooler,
at some point when
we're
we
going
don't,
to play. When we go to Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine or Bruley Walk-Ons, we're going to go play golf, and it's going to be on me.
when I don't walk outside and catch on fire immediately,
Yeah.
we can go play around at golf.
Yeah. Well, then of course, I've told you about the back nine in the city of St.
Yes.
George. So that's for another day. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Patrick Scallon, riveroflifecapsules.com. I took mine this morning. He's going to tell you all about it. You don't want to miss the next interview with Patrick Scallon, riveroflifecapsules.com. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Krysan, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, Facebook, YouTube, and X. We'll be back with more of Sports Shorts Radio after this pause.
Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio from the Furlough Agency. They're going to be partying here until 2 o'clock. You need to stop by, get some food and drink, door prizes. It's Customer Appreciation Party. They've been in business for 5 years here, just off of Burnside, behind the Starlight Cafe, right down the block from Spartan Stadium where East Ascension plays. Come by and see Tracy and her team. Many people here, a lot of people from the business network of Ascension here. So do stop by. We're on the air at 12, but they're going to keep everything rolling until about 2 p.m. Right now, we're joined on the phone by Patrick Scallon. He's the owner of River of Life Capsules. Riveroflifecapsules.com is the website. Patrick, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, fellas. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing well. It's a hot Saturday, but we're doing well.
And we're inside, thank goodness.
And we're inside. That's
Awesome.
a good thing. Last Saturday in the month of July. Patrick, I know you have a new formula for River of Life capsules. I picked up a bottle at your office yesterday. You were kind of busy, so we didn't get to visit a lot. You were busy helping other people. But tell us about the new formula and why people need to take River of Life capsules and why they need to go to the website.
Yeah, long story short, everybody, I mean, just after, we have a durable medical company, been doing this for, over 20 years, almost 25 years. And the main thing is that when people come in, they're usually in pain. So what we did was, in association with some other doctors, we created River of Life and riveroflifecapsules.com. So it's all natural. It's great for you. It's great for every part of your body. So what we did, we have a great formula that we've been using for a long time. But what we always do with our labs in Georgia, Texas, and other states is that we always want to, what can we do to improve it? What can we do to make it better? And when we make it better, it's the same, base formula, but we also increase this, increase that, increase different parts of it. And so what you're getting is just a better, just a better product every 6 months. We try to change it to make it better, better, and better. And we do this by all world results. So people coming in constantly, taking it, they test it. And so we're just getting great results. But River of Life at riveroflifecapsules.com, the 4 best ingredients in the world are in the pills. But just go to the website. We'd love to take care of you, and I can guarantee you will feel pain relief and you'll feel 100% better at riveroflifecapsules.com.
Well, Patrick, I'm going to have to stop by sometime in the next week or so and pick up the new formula and try it out. I'm on the last few pills of the bottle I have, so it's perfect timing for me. I'm going to have to come stop by with you and your team and get River of Life. You can go to riveroflifecapsules.com and get the exact same brand new formula from his team.
Patrick, you made a comment earlier, which I posted on the screen for those watching the stream. You said I'm sounding good today. I mean, how did that happen?
You're sounding great, man. Tommy, both of you guys are sounding great, man. You even look younger. No, you guys taking that River of Life capsules, man. It's fantastic. In all seriousness, guys, it's wonderful, man. You got to take it. Everybody listening, if you want to do yourself a favor, you have to get a bottle. Just get one, and really within 1 or 2 days, you'll feel it. And it's the best in the world.
All right, riveroflifecapsules.com. It's up on the screen for those of you watching the stream. Patrick, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great day.
All right, Hunter McCann, we got Jumbo is right at the ship for the Gumbo Gators. Don't forget big stuff in Lake Charles tonight. Hey, Hunter, I need you to talk about the line moving for LSU.
Yeah.
And some point spread, and go through the whole best bets thing and what you're going to have for us in the fall. I have to step outside and take a picture. So you got this?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, man. Everything will be good. But yeah, we talked a little bit in hour number 1. We'll talk about it a little bit more again now. The Clemson LSU line, the kind of an intriguing thing for me is sometimes you'll get really great value if you go shop now. If you're an avid gambler and you're kind of itching for college football right now, you can at least go look at the lines. I'm not going to sway you one way or the other, but LSU had been an 11.5-point favorite. If you love that line, you'll love them at 10.5 points. It'll make it a little bit cheaper to buy down to 9.5 if you really want. But the Tigers are double-digit favorites a little bit more than a month out from the opening of the season against Clemson as Dabo Swinney and crew come into town. Over under 50.5 total points. A couple other SEC games that you can take a look at. Texas A&M opens up against Missouri State. Huge value on that. Only 39.5 are the Aggies favored. We talked about that Ole Miss line. They're 6.5-point favorites on Sunday night, September 6th, on Labor Day weekend against Louisville at 6.5. You can go and get some great value for there. And, of course, other games to look forward to on that week. There's a lot of good games that opening week. Of course, that LSU and Clemson game is the highlight. That's why College Game Day is going to be here for when the Tigers open the season. But Texas plays Texas State. They're 30.5-point favorites as well. Tennessee plays Furman. 47.5-point favorites, which just once again proves, as the SEC moves to this 9-game conference schedule, you're going to see less and less, obviously, of these out-of-conference games. But you're still going to see a lot of teams in week 1 or week 0 open up with what a lot of people call cupcake schedule games, kind of get the kinks out. The Tigers are doing that, it seems, the next few years moving forward, having week 0 or easier week 1 games to allow them to maybe work those kinks out. Something they have not done really since 2019 when they won a national championship and opened up against Georgia Southern. they'll do that in the next few years. But the real talk of the town, as Tommy sits back down, of course, Tommy, I was saying, is this LSU Clemson game at 10.5 points. The Tigers are favored, but there's going to be so much juice going on the next few weeks. Really, I mean, it has been this whole offseason, but LSU opens up at home. It's the first time in a long time they've done that. It's since 2020 when they lost to Mississippi State in COVID year, which was already a cluster, of a year. They open up, of course, in COVID with at a quarter capacity in Tiger Stadium. You get a full capacity. It'll be a night game for that. College game day will be in town, and it's the start of the Lane Kiffin era here. I mean, I'm not really sure there's ever been a bigger week one matchup. I mean, seriously, I'm not sure that you could pinpoint a bigger week one matchup in Baton Rouge ever in its history than what we're going to see here in about 5 weeks.
Hey, Craig makes a comment. I just big-time Hunter told him I had to get in a photo. I did. I had to go out there for the sales team for the Business Network of Ascension. I went out there, got in the photo, and I came back. I mean, what else can I do? Huh? I mean, gee.
It's all right, Craig. We can hold down the fort a little. Let big man Tommy.
Yeah, I know you could handle it. That's why I went out there.
He makes the big money, the 84-cent cash out last week on Sanford. Hey, look, really, by the way, going back to that, ended up working out for you. I think the only thing that I can't get back on is you cashed out for the 84 cents, right? Then you turn around, you bet an extra $9.16, put $10 back in to bet Sam Burns again, and he still lost. So really, you didn't make any money.
That's why I don't.
Make back any money.
I don't like to bet. I like my money too much.
But seriously, though, do you ever think there's been a bigger week one matchup in Baton Rouge for LSU to open up a year in terms of how much is at stake, the juice going into it, brand new head coach?
There was some years in the 90s when they opened with A&M. They had that 10-year contract with Texas A&M. And that was some big stuff because it was, Texas A&M, they were not in the SEC at that time. But no, I'm gonna say it like this: September 5, that's a Saturday, 2 days before Labor Day. That's when LSU plays Clemson. It's going to take a long time for that to get here, but it's going to go quickly.
Look,
How about that?
I'm going to tell you this: if you're going to that game on September 5th,
are you going? You working WBRZ
I'll be there.
Stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll be
Y'all
working.
Do a show in the morning.
We do.
Yeah.
We do our show out there in front from the PMAC ramp right in front of Tiger Stadium from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We're butt up to ABC's kickoff. I don't know what game's kicking off at 11 o'clock, but every Saturday.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Every home game or every Saturday in general during football season on WBRZ, we are butt up to whatever game's being kicked off at 11 o'clock on ABC. So you definitely want to check out our Saturday morning show. Michael Cobble, myself, Bree Andrews, and Ben Dackey will have the fort held down over at WBRZ this year. You definitely want to check out everything we're doing on social media and on WBRZ.com and, of course, on WBRZ.
It has been a couple of things in the past years when Sports Shorts Radio has to move on the clock due to the LSU kickoff time. That won't be the case on September 5. It won't be on the 12th when the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs come to town.
We'll be a little bit later in the year.
Yeah, a little bit later because there's some morning kickoffs for LSU. People don't like that. They don't want to hear that. But that will probably have Sports Shorts Radio at night.
Night.
Or something
after hours, what we like to call it.
After hours, Sports Shorts Radio. But look, follow us all on social media. You know the drill. We'll keep you posted, and we'll be moving on the clock. But like Hunter said, not till a little bit later in the season.
Well, and what I was saying, when it comes to getting out, if you're going to that game on the 5th, you're going to need to get to campus on the 3rd or so, probably to get parking for that game. It's going to be nuts, TK. I think the RVs will be set up by maybe the turn of the month. I think September 1st, you can see RV. I know truly they really can until campus opens up, but they'll find their ways to make their way to campus. It's going to be insane. It is going to be nuts on campus.
I think it'll be a record number of people on campus because, when LSU plays and they got 80,000 people in the stadium, there's another 80,000 that tailgate that don't even want to go in the stadium. I got a friend that has an RV parking spot. They just RV park it and watch the people. They got the satellite dish TV. They got the beer. They got the food. And they have no intention of going into Tiger Stadium, but they enjoy the atmosphere.
And you say 80,000, which is go back to Texas when LSU played Texas A&M in the 90s. It would have been 80,000. You're talking about 102,000 people now, which even makes it big. You're adding an extra 22,000 people to that stadium, plus all the juice going around the days leading up to campus. You're not going to be able to walk around that place. I truly believe.
Well, I'm going to be in front of a TV somewhere.
It's every year. It's already the biggest weekend ever when LSU opens up to play.
Spot for the media?
Over by the
swimming pool.
No, over at can't remember the name of it.
The
But
tennis courts.
the gymnastics facility, the indoor facility.
Oh,
track,
really? Yeah,
track
let
facility.
y'all get that close?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where we got over the track facility. So it's only a 8-minute walk.
The 30 years I've been parking out there, I've been in like 10 different spots. They
Oh
gave
yeah,
me,
they
but
move everybody
I
around.
don't do the football parking thing no more. Baseball, I'm in, but not football.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
we're
gonna be
going to
nuts.
take our final break here in hour number 2 at the Furlough Agency. They're going to keep this party going on till 2 o'clock. It's their customer appreciation party. In fact, their very first customer ever is here. Lacey is here. Very first customer to ever sign up with Tracy. That's pretty cool that
Wow.
she's here. That's awesome.
5 years later, here we are.
But they got great food. They got giveaways, tons of door prizes. They got good vibes, snowball truck. They're celebrating 5 amazing years of trust, support, and community activity here in Gonzales Ascension Parish. We'll take our final break. We'll come back with the last segment. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, YouTube, Facebook, X with Hunter McCann. I'm Tommy Krysan. We'll be back after this pause. Stay with us. Oh, here we back. Hunter, you were supposed to do a better job of cueing me right there.
Sorry,
huh?
TK. We're having fun over here at the
You
Furlough
guys back there
Agency.
eating and drinking.
Yeah, me and
stuff.
Tracy were catching
Did
up.
you win a door prize?
I did.
I got a hat.
This
Yeah,
great
you
stay
like
here
my
is
hat?
what I want. I'm enjoying myself. Look, the food back here and the water and the drinks. Everything. It's a whole party going
I
on
got
over
a hat.
here.
You don't.
You're right. I'm gonna have to. We'll have to change that in a moment.
Hey, we do want to thank Tracy for having us out here today, her and her team with their customer appreciation party. And we appreciate them having us out here with Sports Shorts Radio. It's been a lot of fun and a little bit something different off of our regular schedule, but it has worked out. So, Hunter, what's some of your closing thoughts today?
Well, we talked a lot about LSU football, which has been a nice breath of fresh air because the last few months it's been a little bit stagnant information. But like we talked about in hour number one, it's just when you get to this point and you finally get through SEC Media Days, you feel like football season's here. So we're right on the doorstep of everything. And I'm excited to see what type of productivity comes from the talk. It's great that you're confident in your team, and Lane Kiffin's confident in LSU, and Pete Golden believes that it wasn't Lane Kiffin that brought them the magic there at Ole Miss. He thinks it's the players he has and the environment around the Grove and everything, and Oxford. Well, prove it to me. I want you to prove it to me. You get through. If Ole Miss can go ahead and soundly defeat Louisville, 6.5-point favorites here in 5 weeks. And then welcome LSU into Oxford and take care of business. They'll have my respect, but none of these teams deserve any type of Texas and Georgia were voted, and not in that order. Georgia was voted to be the SEC champions, right? It doesn't matter what the media thinks. It doesn't matter what all of us think for prediction wise. None of that matters. It's just glorified. What? All you got to do is prove it to me now. Actually go and win the thing.
Well, as it was said last week with media days, this is talking season.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking. Now, when they all report to camp, LSU will report early August. Then it's going to turn a little more to football, and then it'll get here to football. But you're 100% correct. It's all about what happens on Saturday night or Saturday morning, Sunday, whenever you play. But, we use the general term. It matters on Saturday night. And for LSU, that's Clemson. And same thing for the Raging Cajuns, same thing for the McNeese Cowboys. It matters when you hit the field. And, can McNeese do well in the Southland? Can the Cajuns do well in the Sun Belt? That's all part of it.
Yeah, no coach is going to come up here and say, yeah, it's just not our year. We'll see you next year.
We think we're going to lose 5.
Right.
That's just not
Nobody's brutally honest like that. But some of those teams that went up there this week that said, oh, we feel confident we have a championship program or we've built, Will Stein talking about Kentucky believes that he's got everything in right in order already, and they actually received.
They got a vote.
They did.
Place.
They
LSU
did
got
receive
2, by the way.
Yes, LSU received 2 votes for the win the SEC championship, and Kentucky got 1. But just using an example, they're in true rebuild. And so it's okay to say that. It's okay to say
nobody's expecting them to win 8 or 9
and
games.
as long as they realize that, go and win. If you win 8 games at Kentucky this season on a rebuild year, you did your job.
If you win 7.
Yeah, the stipulations and the expectations are different. For LSU's sake, and you and I have talked realistic, I think if LSU wins, I think if LSU makes it into the playoffs, they had a successful year. Anything past that, you're playing with house money. Truth be honest, I think LSU probably wins between 9 and 10 games. Somewhere, I think 9 or 10.
We'll do our official predictions the week before the season opens. But
Everything
I'll throw it out there. I've said it to friends. I think LSU's going to win 10 or 11 games.
Good.
I really think that. I believe that. Now, where are the losses? I don't know. If I do
they got a tough schedule.
If I
right?
do that, I'd be on an island somewhere. But no, so I think LSU's going to have a great season. I think the Saints, the Raging Cajuns, the Cowboys, Southeastern's going to be good with Coach Selfo over there. Nichols will be Nichols. Tulane got a new coach, Coach Hall, down at Tulane. So there's going to be a lot of excitement for football. And don't forget high school football. That's one.
Yeah, I know. That's right around
things.
The corner, too. But it's been a long time, Tommy, since a program has had such a flip. You felt like last year after that Texas A&M game where LSU was and they get embarrassed on their home field, we're at the bottom of the bottom. At least in the last 15 years, that was the worst point they had probably ever been. At least it felt morally. But they were able to flip that around in less than 12 months. You get a brand new coach coming in. The juice feels like it's back. You're opening up the year with College Game Day in town with a team that hasn't proven anything. But now you got Sam Levitt under center. You got all the offensive plethora around him, including the coaching staff that came over from Ole Miss. And they've gone from the bottom of the barrel to possibly the top of the mountain. They just have to go out there and once again produce on the field and prove it to me that they are a championship caliber program.
Walk off the field with a W, as they say, or fly home with
I don't care if they
W.
cover the spread of 10.5 against
Well,
Clemson. Got to win the football game.
Yeah, the goals
Win
to
week
beat
one.
Clemson, and Clemson's an interesting story, and we'll get into that in the coming weeks with Dabo Swinney, who's got a couple of national titles, and didn't embrace the portal and NIL when it first came out.
Got to
Now
adapt, Tommy.
He's trying to do that. What?
Got to adapt.
Yeah,
got to be able to adapt.
Coaches, that's all coaches ever do is adapt. But for some reason, he was a little bit slower than others with all of that. And LSU has certainly embraced it, from day one with NILSU and everything else they've done out there for the Tigers. Well, as we put a wrap on today's show, we appreciate everybody listening, Lake Charles, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge. It's been a lot of fun to be here at the Customer Appreciation Party for the Furlough Agency. Been in business 5 years. Tracy and her team can help you out. Make sure you're set, good to go. We thank her and her team for having us out here. We visited with her. We visited with Kyle Peterson. It's been a lot of fun and tremendous support. A lot of people here. Hunter, thank you for all you do.
Of course.
We thank Braxton back at the station in Baton Rouge. He's hitting all the buttons to try to make us sound good, which can be hard to do, right?
Yeah, well, that's an impossible task and an uphill battle, but he sure does a great job of doing so.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today. We thank all our guests today, Joel Davis, Jumbo Ronnie Rance, Patrick Scallon. We have the regular crew on. Next Saturday, we're at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. Come on out and join us. So be sure you listen. Be sure you watch. It'll be a lot of fun as football season's getting. In fact, next Saturday we'll be in the month of August. Hunter, you have a good week. WBRZ, Best Bets. You'll have all that coming up in the fall. Sports Shorts Monday night at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Thank you, Tracy Furlough, the Furlough Agency. Talk to you next week.
Ask your family